Garfield, KS EF2, May 18th, 2025. The day starts very foggy, as those who chased this day would remember, giving some uncertainties as to what would happen later on. As the fog lifted and storms began to fire, we started our chase at around 7:30 near Kinsley, Kansas. After a short EF0 near Kinsley, Kansas, we catch up to the storm south of Garfield as it is preparing to cross the highway as an EF2. Radar and velocity show the storm is recycling as we're approaching it from the southwest. As we approach the storm from the southwest, just outside of Garfield, Kansas, we see it come into view. We can see as the storm is crossing the highway, although we are too far away to tell exactly how big the tornado is and what its strength may be. But we do know it's on the ground and it's crossing the highway as we speak. Only when we get closer, in about 30 seconds, do we actually get a first look at the tornado and its true size and strength. The excitement and adrenaline at this point are beginning to peak, as this will be the first time I've seen a tornado in person, adding to the specialness that the tornado will show me in just a few moments. As we approach and clear this tree line, the tornado's shape and size becomes very clear. It is large, it is wide, and it is on the ground. As we approach and get closer, some storm chasers ahead of us will begin to appear. And as we watch the tornado to the left of the road, occasional little funnels will appear here and there as satellite tornadoes try to touch down but don't. In just a moment, as we approach an oncoming side road, we'll pull off, we'll hop out, and we'll take a closer look, as well as just watch as this wedge moves slowly through an unpopulated field, throwing dirt and grass. As we approach this road here, we'll pull over and stop, and we'll just watch from the dash cam as the tornado churns and churns. As we come to a stop to observe the tornado from a standstill, it loses its wedge shape and becomes a wide cylinder that's short and stout, but no longer wedge-shaped. As we check the radar here in just a moment, we'll see that the storm does not have its typical hook signature and looks less organized, which leads to the spectacular rope out that you'll see momentarily. Now we'll take a closer look at this wedge phase while we're getting ready to pull off the highway. Now we're going to take a closer look at the cylinder phase of the tornado as it changed from its wedge to cylinder shape as we pulled off the highway. This will be seen from my Pixel 8 camera. As we watch here, we can see several subvortices around the edge of the tornado. I apologize for the shakiness of the camera. I was moving two cameras at this time. But at this time, we're just watching, documenting, taking in the moment, as this was my first tornado capture and seeing in person. So it does regain a bit of its wedge shape here at this moment. It doesn't last very long, though. Here in a few moments, we're going to get back in the car and move a few miles down the road to get a bit of a closer look at it. And at that point, it'll be very stretched out and entering its rope out phase, which is spectacular.
Camera is froze on our at our end.
Hold on,
Yeah.
there was an accident just now behind me.
Camera is froze. Camera is froze on our.
Here, we're 1 mile southwest of Garfield, Kansas. Here we're entering the rope out phase. There was a brief attempt at a satellite to its right. From this moment forward, it'll just be a really crazy rope out, so enjoy. At this point, the tornado is still very wide on the ground, as you can see through the dust circulation. It is very stretched out. Here it's going to make this 90-degree bend, and it's going to do something wild. Let's take a look. At this time, the tornado is going to continue its rope out, which gets more and more spectacular in ways I can't even describe, so we'll just continue to watch. Still on the ground, yet visibly disconnected from the storm above. What a crazy, crazy rope out. We're still going on the ground somehow, some way. The little tornado that could. What once was a tornado now is no longer. Just a little puff of cloud above the ground. Now that the fun is over, we can do a quick recap of the radar from around when the rope out began, around 7:59-ish, according to the video. That's estimate because there's not a real time counter on my pixel cameras. Velocity, though, would confirm that everything was basically done. Here we'll cover where I shot this footage from for the rope out, just south of Garfield. This was pinged from my GPS on the Pixel 8. I also got to run into the TIV team just a little bit further down the road as we continued on this storm to see if it was going to recycle again, which it didn't. And that was the end of this chase for this tornado cell. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe on my YouTube. I'll be doing some live chases in 2026, funding some of that through my Twitch gaming content. Come follow me there. Watch me if you want. We'll be back live in 2026 on YouTube with some tornado chasing. Thanks for watching.